Hi, this is my 2025 Everything That I Knit video. Thanks for being here. Hope you enjoy it. I learned to knit in 2025. It was a goal I had for a few years, and I finally learned at the beginning of 2025, and I finished a handful of garments, so I just want to share those and some works in progress I have going into the new year, maybe some plans and some things that I have learned. So yeah, let's just get into it. This is Garbanzo. She's here as my assistant. So the first thing that I knit is actually this sweater that I'm wearing. It is the Step by Step sweater by Florence Miller. Very popular first knitting project. I feel like this is, the project where I learned to knit. I saw a lot of people making this sweater, and knowing that the pattern existed actually made it feel really accessible to start knitting. So I'm super grateful to her. It's a really, really great pattern. And yeah, it was just very easy to follow. I'm not sure how long it took me to make this, but I finished it in March of 2025, and I made it out of the Drops Nepal. It's like the recommended yarn, and I never wear this. I wore it a lot when I first made it, but it's wool, and I just find it really itchy and also very warm. I live in Southern California, so it doesn't really, I don't know, there's very little occasion that I need like a warm sweater. And yeah, I just find it really itchy. I also am nervous to wash it, I think is part of the problem. And I find that when I wear it, it very easily gets sweaty and smelly. Like the yarn is smelly, like it smells like sheep. And I don't understand why people love wool so much. Another thing that I've been thinking about, another sort of layer to it too, is I am vegan, or I try to be as vegan as possible. So I don't love the idea of knitting with wool. Obviously there's different levels of ethicalness to the wool industry, and I could learn a lot more about that. I'd be interested in doing that, but I just have been trying to use more plant-based fibers. But I also just don't understand why do people like working with wool if it is this way, and why don't more people work with plant-based fibers, and why aren't there more vegan knitters making content and talking about yarns that they like and things like that. So yeah, that's actually part of why I wanted to start talking about knitting online, is to sort of try to find that community and maybe be part of the conversation of vegan knitters. So this is project number one. The second project I did was another step-by-step sweater, actually. So the same pattern by Florence Miller, but I did a couple changes. First of all, this is an acrylic yarn from Michaels that I just had extra of from before. It's Loops and Threads brand. That's Michael's new brand, but it's, I don't know, it's Aran Weight. It's just a new, I don't know. It's just this nice purpley pale color. And I did the German short rows for this one, and I didn't do the folded collar for this one. I did the folded collar for the first one. And I also did twisted ribbing on the collar, the cuffs, and the ribbing on the bottom. And I just sort of accidentally figured out twisted ribbing, and I was like, oh, I like how that looks better. And I wear this sweater at least once a week. And it's funny because yeah, I just wear it all the time, but recently people have started complimenting me on it, and I'll be like, oh, I made it. And they're like, oh my God, what? And to me, it's a very basic thing. I think now that I know a little bit more about knitting, but it's also I wear it literally all the time. I don't know why sometimes people notice it and don't. But anyway, I love this sweater a lot. As you can tell, I never wove in the ends, and there's this little end that's poking out. It's like a little bit short, and I feel like the sleeves especially are like a little bit short. I think I do have more of the yarn, and I sort of sometimes think about unraveling the ribbing and like adding more length to it, but I don't know. I wear it a lot as is, so I probably will not do that. It's just really easy to like throw on over workout clothes or over like with a skirt or with pants like to go to work. So yeah, this was the second thing that I made. And the third thing that I made is this cloud top by Petite Knit. This was my first Petite Knit garment pattern that I tried, and it's also my first like fully written pattern that I used, and this is also the last finished garment I made this year. So I made three full garments. I feel like that's pretty realistic for somebody who works full-time and has other hobbies and interests. I know people on here often knit like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 things, and it's easy to compare yourself, but I feel like 3 is like honestly pretty good. This top, I just love it so much. I wear this like at least once a week. I have been wearing it with like a long sleeve shirt underneath, mostly like a little mock neck situation, which I really like. It has like this really interesting shoulder construction, and then also this little like sleeve situation, and then little ribbing, and then it's like intentionally rolls up at the bottom, and I just love it. I love the color. I love the like boxy, and I also love the like drapiness of this. This is the Sandisgarn Tin Line. It's a cotton and linen blend, and I just love this yarn so much. Again, this is a plant-based yarn because, so for this purple one, I used the acrylic yarn. Like I said, I just had lying around, and I don't love, like I said, I don't love the idea of using wool, but I also don't love the idea of using acrylic because that's made of like plastic and oil. So yeah, I was really happy to find this one. This is, I think it's a fingering weight yarn, and I held it double, and I learned a lot doing this pattern. And yeah, that's my last finished garment of the year. Now I'm going to talk about the whips that I have from the year. So I'm actually going to start with my oldest current whip, which is my Daisy crochet blanket. I learned how to crochet before I learned how to knit. I've been crocheting for many years, and this is the status of this blanket. So I don't know if you can tell really, but this is like the width, and then I want it to be long enough to be like a throw blanket. The pattern I'm actually working with is a baby blanket, so I have like, it's big enough to be a baby blanket at this point, but I want it to be, I don't know, I just want it to be bigger than that. And it is definitely coming together. This was one of my goals for 2025, was to finish this blanket because I started it in 2023, I believe. It's not finished. It is maybe close to being finished, except on this side you can see all the ends are not woven in. They might never get woven in, to be honest. And then I have all these squares that have been blocked and ready to be sewn together. And I think I don't have more yarn. I think I ran out of like the white color. So I don't think this is enough squares to finish it, but I also don't have more, I don't have more yarn. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. I might end up buying more or just sort of working with it where it's at. But yeah, I might sew these on too there, or crochet them together today. We will see. But yeah, Granny Square blanket is no joke. It's kind of, gets like repetitive, and the crocheting together is kind of hard, and I had to keep remembering how to do it because so much time would pass between working on it. So yeah, but I'm not giving up on that. I do hope to finish it someday, and I'm also not like beating myself up about not finishing it and like, or not being done with it, and like, yeah, just being okay with where I'm at for that one. The next one is the Outline Tee by Jessie May Martinson of Jessie Made Designs. So this is what it's supposed to look like. I'm using a black yarn. I bought this yarn for something else. Now I can't even remember what it was. But yeah, I bought this yarn for something else and then ended up not using it for that. It wasn't working for that. And then in my knitting circle, they suggested using this yarn for this project. So that's what I did. And I'm actually further along with this than I thought I was. But this is the current state. This is a bottom up pattern, which I learned that I am not a super big fan of because I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's like very cropped, but I also feel like it's kind of like huge, like, and I still need to do the sleeves, I think. Yeah, I think I still need to do the sleeves and maybe the like collar. It's like a v-neck situation. But this, I just really lost steam on this project. I started this before I started the cloud top, and I just like got so over it. Also, this yarn is like just really thin, and like black yarn is kind of like challenging to work with, and I don't know. I just sort of lost, yeah, like I said, I lost steam on this project. I do think I'll like probably finish it because I don't know what else I would do with this yarn, but I think it's possible I'd finish this and then just like never ever wear it. Or maybe, I don't know, it could be like a beach cover up or whatever, but that just feels kind of, I don't know. It doesn't feel like something I like need in my wardrobe, but I do have more of the yarn. And this is Pure Silk from Knitting for Olive. Again, I bought this like when I first started knitting, and now I don't think I would buy silk yarn again, but I already have it, so I really want to like use what I have. That's one of my knitting sort of goals or aims, I guess, is to use the yarn that I have before purchasing new yarn, and to only purchase new yarn when I have a specific project in mind for it. I don't always 100% follow that, but yeah, that's something I strive for. So anyway, yeah, Outline Tee whip number 2. The third work in progress I have going into the new year is this long tube. This is actually longer than I remember it being, but this is supposed to be the Berlin scarf. I forget, wait, I think I have it. No, I don't think I printed out because the pattern's kind of just this big long tube. It's like a tube, and then you do the fringe, and that's sort of what seals it together. And it's just like a huge, cozy scarf. Again, I live in Southern California. I don't really need this. I started knitting this when I decided to go to Portugal in November, and I thought it'd be nice to have a scarf there, but then like very quickly I realized I wasn't going to be able to finish it in time. So, and then when I was there, I actually bought a scarf that I'm like obsessed with and I wear all the time. And I don't know if this color really suits me, or like, I also don't know that I'm gonna wear a super thick long scarf like with like the weather that I live in. But I think I probably will finish this. Maybe I'll give it away, or I don't know, sell it or something. And this yarn this was sort of an impulse yarn purchase. Actually, I did know that I wanted to make this, and I was in the yarn store, but there's only like a Michael's near me, so they don't always have like the most extensive options in terms of yarn. But yeah, it's the like Bernat fluffy 90% polyester, 10% nylon yarn. And this is just one ball of it. It's like this massive thing. So yeah, I don't know. I probably will pick it back up because it's literally just stockinette going round and round. So it is very easy to do and to like do while people are over or watching TV or something like that. So, but I was just, I don't know, I was getting kind of like bored of it, and I wasn't that excited about the finished product. So that one is also on hold a little bit. And then finally, my last work in progress that I want to share with you is the Leon sweater by Petite Knit. So this is the current status. This is a top-down raglan sweater, and I am so stoked about this one. I love this color. This again is the same yarn as this one. It's the Tin Line Sandisk Garn, and I believe the colors are matcha and lime green. And I'm just obsessed with the way this is coming out. Yeah, this is like obviously, well, I don't know if it's obvious, but this is the whip I've like actually been working on. And yeah, I'm really excited to finish this. I am a little worried that it's too big going this way. My gauge is always so much bigger than the pattern. And I'm on like much smaller needles than it suggests because of that. And I did take some stitches out when I split for sleeves. Like I didn't add any more stitches in the body, even though it's said to. So that I'm also worried that maybe the sleeves are gonna be too small, but I don't know, we'll figure that out when it comes to that. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the way this one is coming together. And the body, yeah, it's just stockinette and switching colors. This is my first like color work knitting project, and obviously stripes is not that challenging of color work, but I thought it was a good way to sort of dip my toe into it. So yeah, that's everything I knit and crochet this year. I don't really have much solid plans besides the current projects. I did buy some red thin yarn when I was in Portugal that I want to make into, I was thinking maybe a Musselburgh hat or another one of like these tops or something sort of similar, but probably a different pattern. And I also have some soft silk mohair from Knitting for Olive that I bought for a different project that I didn't end up doing, that I want to use for maybe like aria top or some type of long sleeve meshy like sweater situation. I just want to, like I said, I want to use up the yarn that I have already purchased. Yeah, that is all I have for the knitting and crocheting front. I do want to also share the ceramics projects that I have made this year. I made one mosaic tile bench that was actually a commissioned piece. I made a bench out of mosaic tiles the year previous, and I brought it to an art show, and somebody saw it and commissioned me to make another one, which was sort of my goal in bringing it to the art show. And I'm really, really proud of that project. It took up a lot of my creative energy and time, and I didn't really do much other ceramics at all. I didn't do any throwing. I only did mosaic tiles, and it was really focused on that project. So I'm happy to have completed that. And then I also made 5 or 6 mosaic tile trivets that I ended up giving away to family members this Christmas. So yeah, I'll put some pictures of those up here, and I'm hoping to do some other mosaic things in the new year, but also some ceramics that are throwing and not just tiles. So yeah, that is everything that I made in 2025. It feels like a lot and also not a lot. I think it's hard when you're like, I think my creative ambitions are just greater than I have the time and capacity for, and honestly, like the money to buy all the materials and whatever. But I'm trying to be grateful for and proud of the like what I was able to accomplish, and hopefully it is like nice to see. I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of a more realistic set of accomplishments for the year for someone who like isn't like a full-time knitter or creative person. So yeah, let me know what is something that you made in 2025 that you're proud of, maybe a work in progress that you're taking into 2026 or that you're just done with and frogging. And I'd love to hear like what other hobbies you all like to do besides just knitting, if there's like, if you do ceramics or any other creative thing. So yeah, that's all for me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.
Good girl.